Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and welcome to Mail Monday, weekly series about your questions and my answers to them. A quick note about the game, this is hardcore domination, so you'll notice I die really quickly and I kill really quickly. That explains it, it's hardcore. Here we go. Alright, this first thing starts off with 2 letters, and the first one's kind of long, but hang in there, it's going to be worth it. Roses are red, violets are blue, I'm very thankful, and fuck Kyle too. Hey Woody, thanks for reading this. I'd like to start by saying thank you for taking the time. To begin with, I've been a sub for 3 years and I'm 17 years old. 3 years ago, I was going through a rough patch in my life. My family lost our house, and I had to move into my grandmother's house. She's a genuine hoarder, like the show. It really put me in a bad place due to basically living in my bedroom. I became depressed and I let my grades and general effort in life slip. My family didn't communicate well, and I felt like my whole world was falling apart. During this time, I listened to your advice on Mail Monday, but never really took it to heart. It wasn't until the end of last school year when life caught up with me. My parents found out about my grades and how I'd been slacking off. They decided to discipline me by making me work all summer long with my dad. He lays carpet. I had to install the carpet, and to pass the huge amounts of time while I worked, I downloaded hundreds of your videos. I listened to these while I worked off my punishment all summer. Mail Monday was my favorite, despite having watched them before. Near the end of the summer, we finally started renting a new house. I decided I was going to take my life into my own hands with this quote-unquote new start, like you've told all your subs to do. I really haven't made a drastic change like some subs have, but I began caring about my appearance, and I began putting effort into my grades. And while they're not perfect, they're at least decent grades. I lifted myself out of depression by finding a new hobby and finding a new group of friends that understand me. All this text you must be tired of reading. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the change you helped to cause in my life. Thank you for your content. Thank you for being an inspiring person. A happy sub. All right. So this guy, he got in trouble. He started working with his dad, and then he started doing things that made him proud of himself. Part of that was working. Part of that was getting better grades. Part of that was taking care of his own appearance. He did the sorts of things that made him like him. Take that piece of knowledge, tuck it away, let's go to the next letter. Dear Woody, I'm 14 and I tried to kill myself recently because I have no friends, no social life, and no support. For my entire life, I've never had any good friends or social life at all, and I've had to deal with depression and insomnia, and it's gotten worse since last year when I dropped out of high school. I spend all my time on my PC watching YouTube videos, and I've practically been raised by the internet for the last 3 years. My dad is an alcoholic who hates me, and I rarely get to talk to my mom. I can't go anywhere or do anything because I live so close to the assholes from my school, it would be awkward to see them. This year I'm going to a new school with no social skills, no friends, and no one to help me. All I can think about is how easy it would be to kill myself, and then all my problems would go away. Please, if you could respond to this in any way, it would be appreciated. Love the vids, keep up the good work. We had Hutch on Painkiller already about a month ago, and he said it in a way that really resonated with me. He said this: if you want self-esteem, you have to do esteemable acts. You have to do things that make you proud of you, right? And I get what depression is like. I get how depression and insomnia and a wacky sleep schedule combine to create this like trio that just wrecks you, right? I get it so well. I've been there. I lived through it. I beat it. That's me. That's who I am. On the way out of this thing, you have to, take your baby steps and make you feel good about you, right? I get why you're bummed, right? You dropped out of high school. You don't feel like you have a future. You don't have the friends and support system that you wish you had. Things aren't going that well for you, and it makes you feel down. I get that. But you have an opportunity coming up, right? You're going to a new school where you can completely reinvent yourself and be anyone that you want to be. These people at your new school don't know you, and if they do, then they're more than happy to build a new impression of you if you just let the old one die off. That's what your next step is. You've got an opportunity, and summer's coming up, right? You've dropped out of the school, you're going to let one go. All right, fine. That's cool. But summer's coming, can you get a job this summer? Feel better about yourself? That would be a cool thing to do. You'll have coworkers who don't give a damn that you don't have friends at high school. Like, dude, nobody cares. It doesn't matter at all. You're going to have a new sort of group of guys that don't know you, that don't judge you. It would be a nice thing to do with this summer. And then you could enter into high school as the new version of you. But that's your next step here. Reinvent you. Change things around. Make things better. That's where you're headed on this thing. And The challenge with depression is it feels like it's a it's an issue that robs you of your ability to deal with that issue, right? Like it makes you lethargic. It makes you unmotivated when the solution to this thing is to stop being lethargic and unmotivated. If you were to get better grades next year in school, then you'd be a whole new you. I was on a swim team, and one of the guys that I swam with was an ex-con, and you could see that guy beaming from ear to ear. He would be studying on like the van trips. We had these vans take us to the other colleges as we competed. And he'd say, man, if the guys in my cell block could see me now, they'd be amazed. He was off drugs. He was in school. He was the new him. And he was so proud of himself for doing that, for taking that step. Your problems aren't as bad as his were, You're not in prison. So anyway, it's time to build the new you, and that starts by doing the sorts of things that will make you proud of you. That includes getting off your PC. That includes getting a job, perhaps. That includes making a friend, joining a club. I don't know, go ride your bike. It doesn't have to be a giant thing. You don't have to solve the world's problems. Just break your routine and do your next thing, and you'll find some success at it. That's your next step. So, take a note from the first letter. He did something that made him feel good about himself, and now he's the new him. You can do that too. Condom problems. I'm 18 and I'm from the UK. Yesterday I was with my girlfriend and we decided we were going to have sex. It was her first time, but not mine. I've had this problem before, the last time I was ready to have sex. And then when I put the condom on, I just went slack straight away. I can't get hard with a condom on. She says she doesn't mind, but it's okay. We just agreed we didn't want to have any babies. But as you can imagine, it's embarrassing. I just want to know if it's normal. Did it ever happen to you at my age? I doubt anything's wrong with me. It might be a mental thing. I don't know. Whenever I use condoms, they always seem to break or kill me off. He means lose the erection. It's annoying. So this guy's 18 years old, and he's apparently ready to have sex, and she's ready to have sex. Everything is good. When it didn't work out, she handled this like an adult. I thought that was really cool of her, and now they're going to make their next decision. You asked some questions. Is it abnormal to lose an erection while you put on a condom? No, that happens to lots of people. Does it happen to me? Nope, it hasn't happened to me, but I'm not bragging. It's just whatever. Condoms didn't turn me off, or my whatever. State of excitement from a girl that actually let me have sex with her lasted long enough that it survived putting a condom on. But if you're going to have sex, you need to use some kind of protection. And that's my core takeaway for this letter. A lot of the choices you have after, we kind of pass by the condom involve bringing in a doctor, right? You can do a shot, the Depo-Provera. My wife and I did that. It's not really widely used, but we were really happy with it. We didn't have any babies while she was on it, and then when she went off, we had hope almost right away. That's perfect. She wasn't terribly sick from it. We didn't have babies when we were on it, and we did have babies when we got off it. This is what you want in birth control. If that option's not for you, there are implants, there's cervical caps, there's all sorts of things that you can do instead, IUDs. But I think that I have this fear that you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't bring a doctor in, I can't do this or that. Like I'm just a kid, what's the doctor gonna say? We don't have access to medical care. Dude, if you're having sex, then you need to have adult levels of responsibility about it. You need to approach whatever, a gynecologist or a urologist or something, and saying, look, this is where we are, and this is where we need to be. And you can't not do it just because you're embarrassed. You can't not do it. You can't have childlike concerns of some doctor judging you when you're doing adult level stuff like having sex. You're either ready or you're not. So there's nothing wrong with you. That'll happen. It happens to people. You're not the first, you're not the last. It's all good. But you made the right call in deciding to stop when you were unprotected, and you need to continue to make the right call and get yourself a level of protection that you can rely on, and then share the intimate moments that you might have. So good on you for being smart about this thing. Don't stop. Oh, one more thing. I'll throw a link in the description for a list of birth control options that are out there. And then you can run them by your doctor and get her opinion or his opinion on what they think is right for the two of you. Let him down gently. Hey Woody, I know you give advice about how to go and get the girl/boy, which is great advice by the way, but I was wondering if you have any words of wisdom for dumping people. It's not that there's anything seriously wrong in the relationship, it's just that he's more into me than I'm into him. And if that makes sense, I end up feeling a bit awkward and uncomfortable. I don't want to just dump him because we're great friends, I just need a few phrases to do it gently. Love your vids, and Colin should have won the dance-off in your place. Oh, just a note by the way, you can't tell whether this is a gay guy or a girl, but I know their YouTube username, and this is a girl writing in about breaking up with a guy. One thing I want you to keep in mind, and I think this is mostly a guy thing, but it could happen to most, guys have an ability to sit there and pine over their would-be perfect girlfriend or ex-girlfriend forever. They will dream of what could have been or what might be again, and you need to, as an act of kindness, shut that down. That's one of your big jobs here. If you let them down too gently, as in, hey, can we still be friends? Or, hey, can we just take a break? Or, hey, what if we, start seeing other people too? Then there is a real chance that this guy might forever think that you guys are going to get back together. And it's mean to him. It doesn't seem mean to him because you're trying to break it off in the nicest possible way. But it is. He will ruin the rest of his high school wishing that he was your boyfriend. And, I don't want to say he'll stalk you, but he'll, think about what could have been and try to rekindle it forever. It is your job to let him off knowing that it's not going to come right back again. So you asked for some specifics on what to say. Something as direct as, you're a good guy, but I just don't love you and I want to start meeting new people, will do the trick. And keep it about you, right? Don't say you don't make me happy. Say I'm not happy. Don't say, you're not interesting. Say I'm looking for new interesting moments or something like that. Make it about you. Let them know that you're unhappy and that you need out and that you're probably not coming back or that you're not coming back. Leave it like that and you'll have a good breakup. And then keep your distance for a little while and let him get over you. So that's my advice on how to break up with a guy. If you guys have your own advice to any of these, drop some comments and we'll check them out. If you like the vid, drop it a like, subscribe in the top right corner. Here's two you may have missed.